Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so when there was a question that why there is suffering and fairness, you answered, and I know I agree the ultimate answer that until the questioner is there, the questions will keep coming, how much ever answers we get, and until the questioner becomes silent by his or her own clarity or knowledge. But I remembered two uh, places where Prabhuji had answered two questions which I always used to remind myself, right, that one is that well, how do you deal with the suffering you see outside, right? And how do you take it? And is it unfair? That fairness question was raised, right? Uh, and the second one being isn't there a if it's because of prarabdha, isn't there a free will? Like how much free will do we have? I think those two were related to that comment. Like if it's like if you are born certain way, then is that it? Uh, and the fairness, right? So the way I see it is one is definitely yeah, one is definitely the prarabdha that comes into picture, where any activity done at any point of time for a selfish gain, personal gain, where the other person is affected in some way, mental or physical way, right? When that happens, the way I see it is like that the suffering that person goes through, definitely this person has to this jiva has to again take it back. It's like you gave, you will get it back, right? So it's this is how I see it, like a very simple equation that anything any like knowingly or even unknowingly done, you still have to, it still has to come back. And that's where it's not just like one lifetime, like multiple lifetimes, depending on how much ever I will accumulate, and I will have to face it and neutralize that thing, right? Um, but then the question comes that hey, it becomes very scary or tricky. Like how do I follow what rules? What are the rules? And how do I not fall into this trap? There he answered saying it's simple. You have to follow. You know the dharma. And the question is that I don't know the dharma. It looks like I don't know all the um, points of dharma. And there he said it is very very simple. Right? Everyone knows it inherently. It's just that you I may think that it is too complex. Very simple, as simple as will I like someone else to tell a lie to me? If not, then I should not do the same to the other. Will I like someone to cause a mental or a physical harm? If not, I should not do that. If I like someone to help me when in need, then you do the same. And so very simple, you don't need to go through any school to get these points. You one can depending on the situation, one can clearly if the person is in the moment, will figure out like what is the right thing to do and what not. And there is and so like if one is able to do this, that itself will basically result in like not though we are all in this again, this is a game we are in, and like or like we meaning like I am part of this game with all other characters, right? As long as in the game I'll keep coming back based on like how I play the game. But then like there is the and the the player coming into the game is based on how the player performed in the previous thing, iteration, right? Now comes to the free will. He said like the situation that I am facing cannot be changed. How I react to that situation can basically result is still there with me. That is the part of the free will. He said like will help to alter the course so that slowly like you can get detached and you can get out of the game. The idea is to, the more I enjoy the game, I'm in the game, right? Either by feeling like happy, excited, or like sad, or like criticizing, oh, why is that country doing this, why is this person doing this? Still I'm part of the game, in the game, very much active in the game. And as long as I get involved in this, in the game, I will keep coming back. But how I react to the situation and like based on the knowledge, the viveka is where like I get that free will to get out of the game and like lose the identity and just be, right. So I think I just wanted to make these 2 points, but at the end, any answer can, the questioner will keep having questions. But I think it's a good point for Anididhyasana to stay with this. And like I felt like I wanted to share this because I use this again and again to remind myself of what's going on. Yeah.
Very nice, Arunji. Thank you. It's connected to, anyway, the Jeevan Mukta topic we are discussing. So in the Jeevan Mukta topic, how is that the Jeevan Mukta is free from the chain of the karma? So because that is one of the important consideration. When you are contemplating on characteristics of Jeevan Mukta, one of the statement you hear is that Jeevan Mukta is free from the cycle of the bondage of the karma. So how to be free from the bondage of the karma is the guidance in the answer that you shared. Is to perform your actions in a dharmic way, is to perform the actions as an offering. Because ultimately, what is the catch? The catch is, I am the doer and I am the enjoyer is the catch. These are the two fundamental catches. The two fundamental hooks, if you will, to this cycle. So how to unhook from that? When the master says, you are the awareness and you're already free, the hook doesn't let you accept that. It is a hook that doesn't let you accept the statement of the truth. So therefore, how to unhook from that? So the only option there is to let you continue the cycle of karma, but now broaden the scope of the cycle, broaden the scope of the karma. It is like you can remove the thorn from the thorn only. You use karma only to remove the root of the karma. That doesn't mean that then karma goes away. The cycle of the karma continues, but no more the one who was hooked is hooked anymore. So Therefore, it can be seen from the from the standpoint of the Jeevan Mukta, and also from the standpoint of one who is in the path of sadhana. So definitely for sadhana, yagna and dharma are important, because the doership and the enjoyership has to fall off. So how does one know? Again, this is the most critical question. How does one know? Again, there is no external certification. How does one know that one is peaceful? Nobody else can give that answer. So ultimately, it's a genuine and an honest introspection. And that is why the test of the life will continue to be there. So that whoever has a certain clarity can go through the test, and it comes in 100 different ways. Then naturally, it becomes a part of the nature of the being. So therefore, any such questions can be seen from the standpoint of the who is asking the question. The question is like Prabhuji says, self has no problems. The big self has no problems. Small self has no solutions.
No solution.
So whatever the answer we share in the context of the small self is only a kind of a, if you will, placebo. It's for the time being, the answer is accepted, but the fundamental root cause or the fundamental cause or the fundamental catch, only the small self has to realize and work towards overcoming that. So big self has no problem, small self has no solution. Like you rightly said it, any question can further be questioned. But in any given context, some solution can work. As long as there is a doer, some kind of a doing has to be given. So pranayama will help you, meditation will help you, service will help you. Again, all of these are some kind of a doing. Doing towards what? From being some kind of a disturbed state to some kind of a peaceful state. So what is the lesson to be learned? Oh, I have to do something to be peaceful. That is how the cycle perpetually continues. I have to do. I have to do. I used to earlier do so-called livelihood actions. Now I have to do so-called enlightenment leading actions. But there is still a doing and a doer. But the master is constantly saying, your natural attribute is peace. Natural means what? It is already there. So there is nothing to be done to be peaceful, because you are of the nature of peace. There is nothing to be done to be joyful. You are of the nature of infinite joy. So this, the nature versus I have to do something. I have to do something means, I'm not something, I'm something else. It is not natural anymore then. Fire cannot be learning how to be fire. I will learn how to be more brighter. I'll learn how to be more giving heat. It is already that. So therefore, again and again, Master reminds us, realize that you are that. Tat Tvamasi. So therefore, when that realization gets established, then there is no more doing. That is a sahaja. So in the path, there are different levels. So it begins as an effort. As the one who is putting the effort realizes the futility of the effort, it is like how much ever effort you put, who is putting the effort? The one who is putting the effort, himself or herself, is a mirage. And that one who is putting the effort always brings back a question in a different way. Because it is not an existential entity. Ego is not existentially, is not a entity. It cannot be existentially true. It's a mithya. So until the mithyahood of the ego is realized, questions will continue to be there. Yes, Padmaji.
Sir, can you again explain that effort part? I didn't get that.
Okay. So let's look at it this way. So there is sun and there is light coming. If we were to go and ask the sun, what is darkness? Will the sun ever know what is darkness? Sun has no concept of darkness. Or if you go and ask sun, be light. Is that also something that makes sense? No, it's already that. It's already that. I'll take the example of fire. Can I make the fire more, give more heat or burn more? No, there is such a thing. It doesn't make sense because it is already that. So you are already that what? Brahman, that pure awareness, pure awareness. You are already that. For you, there is no effort. To be you, what is there? Nothing to be done.
Yeah, there is no effort needed.
There is no effort. See, when you are meditating, right? Let's take the example of the meditation as a state. So you are just sitting there watching your breath or whatever the tool that you use. But ultimately, you reach a spot where you're aware of your existence, but nothing else needs to be done.
Yeah, you don't need the tool also anymore.
Yeah, but you know you are there. And that's it. Do you have to do breathing? No, even that is happening. Do you have to control your body? No, that is happening. Because you're not involved with the outside world, whatever the activity in the outside world is happening. Because with every activity, there is a sound. How do you know activity is happening? There is a sound associated with every activity, and they are happening. What is it you are doing? Nothing. You are simply there. So meditation is about non-doing. You're not doing anything. Though it feels like I have, see look at the sentence, I have to do meditation now. I practice meditation now. Who is the one who's practicing meditation? The entity, the ego, says, I have to practice meditation. And you ask the question, why? I have to become peaceful. I have to realize my true self. When one day I will reach samadhi, I will realize myself. One day I will be enlightened. Look at Ramana Maharshi. I will also be peaceful like Ramana Maharshi. Look at Prabhuji. I will also be peaceful like Prabhuji. One day. So what has happened to the ego entity now? It has created a concept called enlightenment in the mind. And it has created another concept called time, again in the mind. And this illusion called enlightenment, another concept. When will that illusion be fulfilled? One day. Unlike a physical illusion, say for example, you are in Bangalore and you are going to Madurai. How do you know you reached Madurai? Maybe Madurai Meenakshi temple. Let's say you are traveling to Madurai Meenakshi temple. You see Madurai Meenakshi, I am in Madurai. You are convinced. But how will you be convinced about enlightenment? What is that spot that will make you convinced? Okay, during meditation. Yeah, during meditation, I feel peaceful. But the moment I open my eyes, once again, that same thing happens. So that's why again and again, in Nididhyasa, in the Vedantic meditation, what is the tool being given? The tool being given is, you're being given a statement. What statement? From Brahmagnanavali or any of such statements which essentially indicate your ultimate nature. So what does it mean to hold on to my ultimate nature? See, look at that, ultimate nature. It is not something that is being given to you. You're not something else and you're not being made into that. You are already that. You just have to realize that. During meditation, you have the glimpse of it. During every action, you have that. Because without that, something else wouldn't happen. The ego entity itself is light. The ego entity is itself lit by you. You are the light which is lighting the ego entity. That's why we start our session with the prayer, the most important prayer, respecting the self. Antarjyotihi Bahirjyotihi. I am the light of awareness that illumines the outside world, that illumines the inner world of thoughts. Fundamentally, outer world is not there. Outer world is nothing but thoughts. So fundamentally, it is everything is a thought. I am whatever, fill in the blanks. I am mother, I am father, I am boss, I am whatever is also a thought. And who is lighting that thought? You. The light of awareness. And that is who I am. And that light has no, whatever the things that are happening with, it is not disturbed by whatever the things that is happening with the objects, the mind objects. It is the mind object which is saying, oh, it is sinful, oh, it is punya, oh, it is good, oh, it is bad. Everything is a thought. All the judgments are thoughts. So these thoughts are the ones which, the light is simply shining on all these thoughts. The light has no judgment. The light has no judgment. Light is not saying, choose this versus this. Light is simply like the Nataka Deepika, simply there. Whatever the action that is happening on the stage is not by the choice of the light. Light is simply there to illuminate that. So the one who is making the choice is an illusory thought, and that the one who is making the choice will continue to hide. So therefore, again and again, Ramana Maharshi asks, go back to the who am I thought. Who is the one who is having all these questions? Question the questioner. Because the root of all this is not through action. To be free is not through action. The path of the action will not lead you to freedom. Path of the action will bring you to the doorstep of the to assimilate the right jnana. Because the mind has to be clean enough to receive that jnana. So the ultimate is only through jnana. Nahi jnanena sadrisham. Because the ultimate realization is only in the innermost core of your intellect, that that's it. I am that. I am that is not because of some action. It's not like, Madurai, I'm driving. Oh, I see Madurai Meenakshi temple. Oh, now I have reached. There is no place to reach in this journey. There is no place to reach. It is not a journey in time and space. A journey in time and space will lead you to something concrete, which once again is a mind object. You are already that. You are taking a made-up journey because you have become somebody. So from that somebodyness, you have to lose that identity of somebodyness. Then you can see yourself in, you are the light which is illuminating the outer world. As of now, if you choose to go into a deep sleep, world doesn't exist. It doesn't matter whether it exists for somebody else or not. It's impossible to prove that there is somebody else out there during the deep sleep. But you are only sure of your own existence.
Sir, but when we talk about effort, isn't it effort needed for us to even go in that direction? Like what we are doing right now is also an effort, right? Yeah, like you said, for Brahman there is no effort needed, but since we have forgotten it, or we are not connected with our true nature, there needs to be some effort in that direction, right?
True. It is like, that's the wonderful nature of this journey. So therefore, one example Prabhuji always gives. Let's say you're wearing a gold chain and you've forgotten. And now you're searching everywhere. You're so anxious, you're searching everywhere. And somebody points out, hey, is this what you're looking for? Oh my God. It is always there. So now what's the point of all that effort that you put? In a way futile, in a way very meaningful. So it's not a judgment about effort. It is necessary. Because without that beginning point, how can this realization occur? So, it's all a wonderful game. It's like, that's why Guruji also gives that example. It's like the self has forgotten the nature of the self and is searching for the self where in self only, and ultimately realizes what? That I'm self only. So what is the point of this game? That is not a question which can be answered in the realm of mind. So that's why such questions can only be removed because there is no way to answer such a question. So the only way is to remove the questioner. When the questioner disappears, naturally all the questions have disappeared. So there is Mano Nasha and Mano Laya. What is the difference between these two? One is absorption of the mind. Another one is complete annihilation of the mind. Absorption of the mind happens during any kind of a effort-oriented action. I am watching my breath. I feel peaceful. Mind has gone away somewhere because you're not letting the mind function. I am watching a wonderful music, drama. Oh, I completely lost myself. Mind is somewhere else. I had a peaceful sleep. Right? Mind is somewhere else. So the latent tendencies of the mind are still there, but for the time being, they're somewhere else. It happens in 100 different ways. You're playing with your child, you're there, it's not there. You're enjoying some meal, it is not there. So anywhere where that commentary one, there is always one who gives the commentary, match is going on, wonderful 6, look at Sachin Tendulkar. So that commentary person, when that commentary person is not there, it is pure happening. During those times, you are in your true nature. You don't even have to, because the commentary person is not there, you are blissfully involved. That's the state of a child. Blissfully involved in whatever. Because there is no commentary person. As we grow, as you grow, the commentary person also grows. Different commentary people come. So one who is making the commentary, as long as the one who is making the commentary is not removed, they will appear in different ways. Rakta Bijasura. The story of the Rakta Bijasura and Chandika is that only. So she kills, but even a drop of Rakta Bijasura gives rise to him back. So she has to lick him. She has to lick all the blood. People think this is, oh, what a Kraurya. No, the Kraurya is, it is to indicate the most fundamental and the subtle truth in the simplest possible way. You are that Shakti and you are that ego. You have to annihilate that ego. Only you can annihilate. And annihilation of the ego is what, after all that is burnt, like the example that we keep talking about Ramana Maharshi. The dead body is being burnt and the stick is being used to push the dead body again and again back into the fire. So during that time, it appears like there is effort. Correct, no? I have to push. It feels like I have to push. But ultimately, even the stick that is being pushed, that is being used to push, will burn away. Then what remains? So it is not that, what remains wasn't there earlier. It was always there. So you are there even before all these questions began for you. You are there when the question has appeared. You are there during the search. You will be there after the search ends. And who knows the search has ended? Only you. So Prabhuji says, Prabhuji cannot give a certificate that now, after all these 3.5 years of Vedanta study, I hereby certify. There is no one else to certify. No one else can certify. The very question of, can I be certified, means there is some kind of a questionnaire. Because there is no other to certify. Like, how do you know your hunger is over? You know it. That's called trupti, no? I feel, oh, I had a wonderful bhojanam. Trupti, I feel trupti. So that's a temporary trupti. No, here there is a permanent trupti. What is that? Only you have to find out. As long as the questioner is there, then effort is needed. So effort has to be guided in the direction. So therefore, some tool has to be given to the questioner. It could be pranayama, it could be meditation, it could be kriya, it could be anything. To do can be anything. And so there are various levels in the doing also. In the doing, better than japa is dhyana. Ramana says, better than japa is dhyana. Because in japa, you're holding on to a concrete thing. In dhyana, you are away from that. So in that way, there is a grade. So it's like better than puja that you do outside is manasa puja. So like that, in the Upadesa Saram, he takes us through different levels of why karma is not the answer. Shall we listen to that? Are you okay to listen to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, I think you had told that after this we'll take up that, no? After Tattva Bodha, you said we'll take up Upadesa Saram.
Yeah, Upadesa Saram, we can definitely go. But now let us listen to Upadesa Saram. So there's a bunch of children who are chanting Upadesa Saram. In the bottom, you'll be seeing the text. So first let's listen to this, and then we can also go back to the text.
कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम्
Hari Om Rupaji.
Hari Om Ji. Hari Om everyone.
So in a way, we were continuing yesterday's question about effort and realization, and it is connected to the Tattva Bodha topic of Jeevan Mukta. How is that Jeevan Mukta is free from the cycle of the action? That is what we started contemplating on, which led us to listen to the Upadesa Saram by Ramana Maharshi. This is said to be composed by Ramana Maharshi himself, which is what you heard. These 30 shlokas. These 30 shlokas give clarity about the relationship between action, doer, and the self, and which is the direct path. And how is that really the realized one is free from the cycle of karma? Because life continues, there is still doing. Even Ramana Maharshi had to breathe. Even Prabhuji has to teach. How is that, one is free from the cycle of karma or the action? Where is that the cycle is stopped? In order to look into that question, we started the contemplating, and that led us to the Upadesa Saram. Okay, so yeah. Padmaji and Saravanji, anything based on what you just heard and saw, anything you want to ask or say?
No, looks like summary of all that we have been discussing, learning. I see a lot of those things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It talks about everything, right? From action, fruits of action, everything.
See, this is one of the crux, they say. Action, inaction, inaction, inaction. So what is the non-doership has to be understood clearly. The non-doership is mistaken as remaining like a vegetable.
Yeah, not doing anything.
It is not that. It is about, I am not the doer, is the clarity is non-doership. So I am, the true self is not the doer. However, in the world, for the drama, as necessary, whatever the appropriate action can be performed through the instrument has to be performed. So it is not like running away from action. It is from realizing that you are eternally free from action, the fruits of the action, because action has no problem. It's the fruit of the action that binds you, gives you the feeling, oh, there is papa and punya, there is good and bad, oh, lifetimes of accumulation. All that concept is because of the fruit of the action. So to be free from that, the only way is to deeply realize doership and enjoyership. Who is really doing? That's why I see here, the fruit of the action passes, but action leaves behind seeds of further action, leading to an endless ocean of action. Kriti mahodadhau patana karanam. Phalama shashvatam gati nirodhakam. Not at all to moksha. Kartruragnaya prapyate phalam. Karma kimparam, karma tajjadam. How can karma be the highest? How can action be the highest? It is jada, insentient. Without the light, there is no action. So how to get rid of this connection, come out of this illusion? Ishwararpita nechaya kritam. Chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. See here, Ramana Maharshi is giving a sadhana. Sadhana. Here is giving a path, effort. You do action as as an offering to Lord. So here he's giving, initially he's giving a sadhana. And he's saying it purifies the mind and points the way to moksha. It only points the way to moksha. Where? In the chitta shodhana. In the chitta that is purified. Kaya vangmanaha karyamuttamam. Pujanam japam chintanam kramat. Than the external worship, praise and meditation, the work done by the body, speech and mind. So it's like he's giving the order, which is better.
So here praising is praising the divine, right?
Praising the divine, yeah. All the pujas, worship and the pujas. Better than that is meditation. So he's taking us from the form to the formless. He's not denying the the worship. He's not saying worship, give up worship. He's saying which is better. Only when the mind is prepared, it can sit and meditate. Otherwise, mind finds meditation is very boring. So therefore, he's given the path. Here also, than the work done by the body, the work done by the speech, the mental activity. No, notice in the mental activity, which is the better quality of watching. See, he's giving steps for orderly ascent, moving up. So here also there is an effort. Here also there is an effort. Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brad Deva Pujanam. So these are all various elements. The Ashtamurti, you already know. It is made up of these 8 elements. Worship of any of the form is a perfect worship. So therefore, like Krishna says, it doesn't matter what you offer and to which form you offer. Everything comes back to me only. It's all Brahman only. So Ramana Maharshi is saying the same thing. Everything is an aspect of Brahman only. Better than the hymns of praise is repetition of the name. Better than saying it out loud, saying it in the mind. So that's why Guruji also, Prabhuji also says in the Japa Sadhana, from the Japa one has to move to a Japa. Japa is a vocal recitation of something. For whose praise are you doing? So make it a mental Japa. Then from that, go into a Japa. So no one is denying the tool. No one is denying the effort. But like the pole vault, use that, but ultimately, that is not the one that one can hold on to. Better than the spells of meditation is one continuous current, steady as a stream. See, this is nice. Ajya dharaya. Like when you're pouring ghee, it flows uniformly, nicely. Like that should be the contemplation in the mind, all times. Better than viewing him as other. Oh, I am offering my praises, puja to Lord. Lord is outside of me. Then Lord is within me, the very I. So from outside, you make him part of you. Ramana says that is a better way of you realizing your true self. Because as long as he's outside, the search continues. So abidance in the pure being, transcending thought through love intense. So supreme devotion, develop the supreme devotion. And that is what Sri Krishna told yesterday in the shloka. Undivided, pure service. Your undivided attention to pure service. Towards what? Towards the Lord. Absorption in the heart of being. From where we came. Who is that we? All these mithya entities is the path of action, of devotion, of union and knowledge. All of this is the path of action because there's something to be done by somebody. There's a path. It's in the time and the space. So then he goes on to talk about pranayama. Holding the breath controls the mind. Very simple. You all know that. As you slow down your breathing, your mind slows down. So it's a controlling of the mind. Like you slow down your breath, mind slows down. So you're controlled. The mind hasn't gone away. You're still controlling. It is still there, latent. So a bird caught in a net. Breath regulation helps. Absorption in the heart. When the mind is controlled, during that time, you have glimpses of your true self. Mind and breath as thought and action fork out like two branches. Both spring from a single root. From where is the mind coming and from where is the action coming? What is the source of both these? Absorption is of two sorts, submergence and destruction. Mind submerged rises again. Dead, it revives no more. This is the ultimate path. Dead means what? Dead means realize that you're not the mind. That doesn't mean that you have to give up something. Realize that you are not the mind. You are not the thoughts. You're none of the thoughts that are arising in the mind. They are all appearing in your consciousness. The tendency of the mind will continue depending upon whatever the latent impressions. Mind will continue because there's an inertia. Let's say there's an incline. You left some object, let's say rotating object. It is rotating. How long will it rotate? How long will it continue? As long as that initial momentum is there, it will continue. But you have become free from it. Breath controlled and thought restrained, the mind turned one way inward, fades and dies. So during the breath control or during the meditation, what is the focus? To realize your true self, meaning what? To have the glimpse of who I am, not as a concept. During your meditation, you know you are there. That pure I, because that light is being constantly used to illuminate the mind. So therefore it is missing seeing the I. So now that light is turned inwards. The mind will continue to be there, but now the light is turned inwards. So you become aware of your own self as a non-doer, as a pure self. Mind extinct, the mighty seer returns to his own natural being and has no action to perform. Doesn't mean Ramana stopped answering or Ramana stopped eating. No more Ramana associates himself with the instrument of the action. The association to the instrument of the action has fallen away, has withered away. But when somebody says, Guru Ramana, please guide me, Ramana speaks through that. But there is no more association to the instrument of the action. Depending upon the instrument, different kinds of actions, different kinds of thoughts will emerge. It is true wisdom for the mind to turn away from outer objects and behold its own effulgent form, its own inner form as a true being, as a being which is supporting everything else, and that which needs no support. When unceasingly the mind scans its own form, there is nothing of the mind of the kind. For everyone, this path direct is open. What is mind truly? Where is mind truly? What is the source of the mind? Again and again, Guru Ramana asks, go back to who am I question. Ask from where all these are coming. What is the root of all this? Thoughts alone make up the mind. You know of the existence of the mind only because of the thought. You know there is a place is called Madurai because of some landmarks. If all the landmarks are removed, there is no way to know what is Madurai, what is Mysore, what is Chennai. It's only the landmarks that make what is that city. It's only the external features that make what is that object called as. So it is only the thoughts which are the objects, the mental forms which make up the mind. What is mind? Mind is nothing but created by all these thoughts. And of all the thoughts, I is the root thought. The I thought began first. There was silence, and in the silence, the word, the sound came. And from the sound, the world came. Thus the Bible begins. Initially, there was silence, and in the silence, sound came. So the I thought is the root thought. So what is mind? Nothing but a sense, a notion called as I. A non-existent phenomena. Truly doesn't exist. But it seems to exist. And that is a mithya. So the very concept of I is the ultimate mithya. Ego is the ultimate mithya. When one turns within and searches whence this I thought arises, from where this I thought, and from when this I thought is arising, there is no I. The shamed I vanishes because it is not an existential reality. And wisdom's quest begins. Where this I notion faded, now there as I. When you are operating in the world, Antarjyotihi Bahirjyoti. Clarity, purity that it is the divine light of the self only. I. What I see is also I. Who am I is also I. The one, the very self, the infinite. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Of the term I, the permanent import is that for even in deep sleep, where we have no sense of I, we do not cease to be. Body, senses, mind, breath, sleep, all are jada. None of them have their own ability to exist. And unreal, mithya, cannot be I. They're not the true self. I who am the real. Without light, there is no drama. The drama characters appear to be real only because of the light. The drama characters are unreal. For knowing that which is, there is no other knower, hence being is awareness and we all are awareness. There is no one else to know this but you. In the nature of their being, creature and creator are in substance one. The world has merged. In your deep meditation, there is no world. It's within you. They differ only in adjuncts and awareness, only in the names and the forms. Like many examples we have seen, so many names to gold in the form of ornaments. Seeing oneself free of all attributes is to see the Lord. What does it really mean to see the divine? Is to realize that this attributeless gold, pure gold, awareness of the pure gold, awareness of the water, sattva, tat padartha, the essence, for he shines ever as the pure self. To know the self is but to be the self. It is not like I am there and I will come to know the self. That still leads to, there are two, somebody knowing and somebody who is knowing and somebody else to be known. There is no two. Advaita, there is no two. There is no knower and to be known. For it is non-dual. In such knowledge, one abides as that. You are that. That is true knowledge, which transcends both knowledge and ignorance. Knowledge, ignorance, they're all in the realm of the mind. For in pure knowledge, there is no object to be known. Having known one's nature, one abides as being with no beginning and no end. You were there before the question began. You were there when the question began. You are there during the question. You will continue to be there when the question ends. There can be no beginning and there can be no end. Beyond bondage and release is steadfastness in service of the Lord. Bondage and release, I am bound by the karma, is a concept in the mind. I have to be liberated from this bondage, is a concept in the mind. As long as the concepts remain, search continues. The search can become as long as you want, search can end as shortly as you need. All ego gone, living as that alone is penance good for growth, sings Ramana, the self. See, again here, there is some kind of an effort. This effort is the direct path effort. The Vedantic meditation effort. Whenever there is a lack of clarity, go back to the Antarjyotihi Bahirjyotihi and hold on to that. So this naturally will help the mind to lose its control, grip. So these are the 30 simple shlokas by Ramana, given in the simplest way about the path of action and the path of direct contemplation. So is effort needed? Yes, effort is needed. For who? For the one who wants to realize. For the self, is there effort? There is no effort. And that's the, and they both exist at the same time. You are that one who needs no effort, but you have to put effort. You feel you have to put effort. Till when? Till the time it becomes clear. And that's the beautiful journey of this path. The cosmic joke. Has this brought clarity or has it increased questions?
Yes, sir. For now, I mean, there is clarity, but I think we have to go in detail in the shlokas.
Yeah. Please do. I'll share both these also. You can definitely go through them.
Mm.
All right. So shall we get back to 68 and 69? Because all these are the see, ultimately Jeevan Mukta. This is the model of the Jeevan Mukta. The comparison between the Jeevi and the Jeevan Mukta. The Jeevi has a notion of body and mind. Jeevan Mukta has become free of the identities, false identities, through aparoksha anubhuti. Aparoksha anubhuti is what? The glimpse of the reality, clarity of the reality. And the Jeevi is controlled by the ego, and ego is the one which is blocking the self. You are the self. Who is blocking you are the self-realization? The ego entity. The entity that thinks I am separate from self. Whatever may be its name and form. It is that which is blocking the realization of the self. It is not that the self is not there. But the ego is now the blocker. That's why there is this ego that is blocking through the mind, the true self. Because the true self cannot be removed. But in the Jeevan Mukta case, he or she uses the ego. Rupaji, you had some question?
No, I got reconnected, that's all.
Oh, okay. In the Jeevi, there is a me and the others thinking, because there's a sense of separation. I am separate from the world. I am separate from the Lord. I am separate from the others. So there's a me and the others thinking. Where is that separation? In the mind. And in the Jeevan Mukta, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. That again doesn't mean, in terms of the outward action, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will go and hug everybody. They'll go and want to work with everybody. It is not that. There is still discrimination in terms of what is the right action to perform. So, for example, between offering food to someone and helping someone stand on their own by offering them some, say, skills, which is better? The latter. So like that, right kind of a choice of action also has to be made. So there is still discrimination. But it is not out of me and others thinking. In the case of a Jeevi, there is a memory which is always translating whatever is being seen or heard through the memory only. Meaning what? There's a commentary person, the ego, which is using the memory to make commentary. You look at, let's say, your boss, and suddenly the commentary starts. Oh, he comes here, he's going to ask me that question, this question. That boss who asked you that question is no more truly there. But the mind still has the deep-rootedness about that boss. So therefore, the mind is still bringing it back from the memory. So again, the commentary continues. So the reality is right now in front of me is that consciousness coming in the form that I recognize as boss. It is truly not, that boss who asked me that question yesterday. But that reality is lost because the memory is being used to substitute. It is like, our eyes can detect video because there are 24, pictures which are kept next to each other, and within a second, 24 pictures stuck, they move. And because of that, mind thinks it's as if it's a video, which means if you are able to freeze it into smaller segments of time, there is no picture, but still the mind makes up that picture. So there are 24 pictures only in 1 second. In 1 second, there are, let's say, 60 milliseconds. And in those 60 milliseconds, only 24 frames are kept. So the remaining milliseconds, there is still no frames. And that is being made up by your own mind. Like that is the case with reality. There's a stream of sensations coming, but your mind is capable of making up anything. Whereas in the case of Jeevan Mukta, Jnani, knows how this functions, so uses that part of the memory. So when Ramana is asked about an object, he doesn't say, oh, this is consciousness appearing as consciousness. He will name that object, but knows clearly well that right now I'm naming it for the sake of some transaction. The naming is not going to take away the true nature of Ramana. But here in the GV, the naming causes the whole cycle of drama. Oh, that is a boss. Let me hide. Oh, let me run away. Oh, let me today shout at him. Oh, let me throw the resignation letter at him. Oh, let me write a letter to his superior. The whole drama is here. So therefore, the GV is a prisoner of karma. Not because, the mighty Lord, whoever he or she is, may rest at peace. It's not that mighty Lord cursed you, that you have to be a prisoner of karma. It is because of my own incorrect understanding, I have become a prisoner of karma. And the Jeevan Mukta is free from this. There's another wonderful model. I thought this picture has to be here. So, look at this picture. This person is hanging from the branch of a tree. And there is a elephant which is angry at him and it wants to make him fall. So it is pulling at the tree. And the branch is hanging to, he is being nibbled away by two mighty rats. And when he falls, he will fall into a pool of snakes. And at the same time, somebody has thrown a stone to a beehive and the bees are biting him. But at the same time, little drops of bee are coming and he is enjoying that in spite of all this. Whereas here the Lord is sitting there just for him to say, oh Lord, please protect me. And the Lord is there to just take him away from this entire scene. But he is so attracted by the bee, the honey. The honey, see, is enjoying the honey. The bite of the honeybees, the branch is going to itself is going to fall, and it's going to fall into a pool of snakes, and the elephant is tugging, is all going away from him. So the elephant tugging is like the prarabdha, and the tree is the current life. And this honey is the attraction of the Maya. And the snake pool is the agami karma. This is how the Jeevi's Jeevana is. Punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. Because the attraction of the Maya is there. Yes, Shubhaji.
Agami karma means?
Agami means something that is yet to come.
Oh, okay, thank you.
When you fall into the pool is when the bite will happen, no?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So which is what was shown here. See here, all these, this model was shown in a slightly different way. So prarabdha is, that is already loaded. Agami is it's yet to come. It's already short. It will come to pass. This is collected. But here, this cycle will continue as long as this attraction of the honey is there. So this cycle is what the Jeevan Mukta is free from. How? Through clarity of the jnana. And by offering all his actions in the service of the Lord. Nechaya krita. That's what Ramana Maharshi starts with. Do all your actions as an offering to the Lord. Why? Chitta shodhanam. It's only the mind that has to be purified. Because it's in the mind that there is a bondage. There is no bondage, but it is in the mind there's a concept called bondage. And it is not something easy to just shake away. As long as the mind is dormant, it will keep appearing again. That's why the Guru also gives the example of when will the mind go away? If the seeds are there, another tree will come, so many fruits will come. When will it end? Only when the seed is completely fried. It has become now a dead seed. So likewise, the association to the mind has to be dropped. All right, we're already at 8 o'clock. How do we want to take the next step? We can have...
We can continue.
Yes, Padmaji.
Yeah, we can continue next week also, sir. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
But are there any questions or any other statements coming?
No, sir.
Shubhaji, is there anything that you would like to share?
No, sir. I would like to contemplate more on this and probably come up next week.
Yeah. So you can use... you found?
I found the Upadesa Saram couple of last ones related to Jeevan Mukta topic. So I would like to understand more on that and then maybe make some points and come back on that.
Excellent.
Yeah. Also in this slide, no, sir, the current one which is on the screen now.
Yeah.
There, the third point is there. No, that is not clear, very clear for me.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this point, what it means is, I as an ego entity, I have become somebody. What that is somebody? It could be anything. What anything? Various identities. I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a boss, I am Indian, I'm Hindu, I am good, I am bad. All these are what? various identities. It is like the gold is missed, but the ornament is being named. Oh, this is necklace. Oh, this is earring. Oh, this is nose ring. So you're naming, but missing the gold. So
This you are talking about the me aspect, right?
only when I become separate can others come into existence. No, I am separate from you. Therefore, I have to name you. Oh, you are that person. Oh, you are this person. Oh, you are that. All that is coming from a me and you thinking. I am separate from the rest. I am separate from the rest. So therefore, it is seen in contrast with that.
Mm.
Is that clear?
I can understand on an external level what you're saying, but without that, can you function initially?
You cannot function. See, there is what is functioning in the world. So there is two ways of functioning in the world. One is I and you are separate from me. So now you're doing some things. I like it, I don't like it. Then I respond to it. So that is one way of functioning. In the other, there is clarity, just like how you are functioning with your child. You know your child is yours, but is also having its own existence. The underlying current is love and care. But in that love and care, not everything is accepted. But there is no denial. There is no rejection. There is no separation. Fundamentally, there is no separation. But in a life way, in a vyavaharika, in the practical world, you still accept the separation. You still respect all the boundaries. You still function as if there is a boundary. But deep within, you have no boundary. Deep within, that child of yours is a integral part of you. There is no way for you to say, for anybody to come and say, this is not your child, this is separate from you. You will not accept that. Just like how this finger and this finger are integral part of your body. There is no way for you to think of them as separate. But you still see them as separate. See, this is this finger, this is this finger. You know what to make use of this finger, what to make use of this finger. How to hold. You use them differently. But they're integral. You don't treat them as different from me. They're part of you. So Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma doesn't necessarily mean that, suddenly all this is evaporating. All this separation is evaporating. It's not like that. Deep within, there is no more sense of separation, because where is the separation? The separation is coming only in my thinking process. I am separate from you. That's why a little child can go and talk to an ant, can go and talk to a plant, can go and talk to a water. You ask a little child to talk to water, in a very innocent way, it naturally talks to the water. Because a little child still hasn't developed any sense of separation.
Like the way I have been taking this is like again going back to the golden ornament. I can see it as a bangle or a necklace, or I can see it as gold only. Right? Same way, like I can see myself and everyone else as separate individuals, as like different forms, but or I can see it as like I am from the consciousness point of view, like each there is only one, and it is just that like currently it's appearing in this way and it will continue to change. The appearance will continue to change. If you hold on to that appearance, it's a problem. That creates the problem, or like that is where the mind gets mind stands up and like plays the major role, right, to create to get into the trouble of the life, right? But if I see as like irrespective of whatever whoever it is, like old man, poor man, rich man, politician, movie star, the way I see it right now, the way I see it, like it's just the appearance of the consciousness, and like it will come and go. It will keep coming and going, and I'm not going to have attraction of rejection against the forms, saying like, oh, they are lucky, oh, he's enjoying, oh, he's suffering, oh, he's poor. Right. So then what happens is like I'm focusing, I have identified the form, and now I'm focusing on the individual characteristics of that form. Now I'm completely gone into it. Right. That's the pit I am falling into more and more. The more I start thinking of that form, I'm falling into that pit. And like the more I spend time, the more and more I fall. Right. But like if I see it as the appearance and the consciousness coming, like taking this form, part of that movie, I can move away quickly without getting attached or attracted. Can I say that? That's how I'm seeing it, the me and the other part. That's why that day when Padmaji said like, I wanted to comment also, right? The moment I focus or like it, if more thoughts come on that form, then like there is there is more work needed, because I'm still seeing forms and not beyond the form.
So last week I shared one talk by Prabhuji, how a Jeevan Mukta looks at life. This is how a Jeevi looks at life. So the fundamental difference is, see, there is the larger circle represents the awareness. Then inside, they are the objects. So for a Jeevi, the focus is on the objects, what you see inside. Whereas for a Jeevan Mukta, constant awareness about the bigger circle is there. And in that bigger circle, objects appearing and disappearing is happening. Another analogy is movie screen. Movie screen is there, suddenly light comes and so many forms appear, disappear, so many drama happens, but nothing has ever happened to the screen. So the constant background screen is the awareness. You are that awareness. It's in your awareness that all these forms and various names are appearing and disappearing. And depending upon the latent impressions, various tendencies, judgments are appearing and disappearing. All of that is not you. All of that is not you. All of that are the tendencies of the mind. So no need to have judgment about you also, because there will be some judgments about you also. Oh, I wish.
Better, or I'm not there, they are there. Maybe next.
I am so bad, look at them. Oh, I am so good, look at them. All of that is self-judgment also. They also are there, again as impressions in the mind. They also rise. So let whatever rises, rise. You are free from it. So that is the Sakshi Bhava. And among all the things that raise, which ones you want to choose depending upon the situation and act, that choice is entirely up to you. Another analogy, you're walking in the market. You will not go and talk to everybody. Suddenly you see a friend and you go and say, hey, hello there, and you start talking to him. But so many people are passing by you at that time. Not everybody you need to be interested.
That's what I was saying, like, that Sakshi thing. Like
Yeah.
I could cover a lot of the market without getting attracted. But then so at one point I stopped.
Yeah.
Right. So
That frees you. And that is how a Jeevan Mukta uses memory. See, even in Jeevan Mukta, there is, see, for example, this is an object known as mobile, has to appear. It can appear only from the memory. But here it is a usage, functional usage. It is not altering the state of the Jeevan Mukta, not altering the inner state. All right. Rupaji, anything to share from your side?
No, Vijayji.
All right. Then shall we end our today's session with the prayer? Shubhaji?
Yes, sir. Om Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudichyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is complete. This is complete. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. When completeness is added to completeness, totality remains complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, manabuddhi, nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananu Nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am not the body, mind, intellect. I am the pure consciousness, Shiva Swarupa. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. Recognition of the self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is the truth. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityur Mukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityur Mukshiyamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. We worship the three-eyed one who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death, from mortality. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Hari Om, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shubhaji. Thank you all.
thank you.
Thank you all.